Oh, right, other than my little poofy hair, and I don't have full space with my arms. This looks, okay. Oh, well, let's go. We are recording. Hey, YouTube. That normally is a statement that applies to my general audience, people watching this channel, all you wonderful people. Hey, yes, it does apply to you, but this also applies more directly as a hello to people working directly at YouTube. I'm opening this video with a little, statement letter to them that'll make more sense once I explain everything that I'm going to in this video. But, basically, the two videos that have been taken down, I am fine with that. There weren't anything really special, but the big thing is, with anything else from that era that could potentially cause problems, I don't want it to. I've gotten rid of the things that I think will. Basically, I just don't want this channel to go away. So if you look at the other decade of content that I have done since then, hopefully you can see that I really don't want to violate the rules. And so if anything did, I didn't quite, know that it was going to break the rules when I uploaded them. And there were no problems with it for so long. I don't think it's a case of the rules changed. I think it's a case maybe people didn't notice, but I didn't know when, if I had known with the first one, I wouldn't have uploaded the others, and then there wouldn't be any problems now, but I didn't. Nothing came up. I don't know if I just didn't know that particular rule or whatever. Maybe I saw something similar on YouTube. Whatever happened, I didn't know. So yeah, there's my letter to YouTube, and now for, talk about things. I want to, with this video, address, first of all, show that I know why, the system exists the way that it does, somewhat. And, talk about, there's one thing I know YouTube has done wrong, something that YouTube has done good with the system, and then something that I think YouTube should do as part of the system, and kind of explain why. And I have a few notes on the screen over here, but these are very, very sparse notes. But basically the YouTube system, especially the way that it used to exist, you get 3 strikes and you're out, but when you get a strike, the video is immediately taken down, and then you can appeal it, and then it goes back up if the human reviewer finds that it doesn't actually violate the policy, your explanation satisfies them, whatever, it goes back up, and you have the strike removed. That's kind of been the system for a long time, and it still is mostly that way, and I agree with why that system has to exist. I don't necessarily agree with how it's always enforced, but you kind of have to do that, otherwise people won't learn. You can't be too lenient, otherwise they'll just be trying to bend and break the rules. I mean, if you never punished anyone for oh, this video violates policy, we're deleting it, and that's all you ever did, people could just probably keep uploading videos that would violate policy, and then you would remove them as soon as you found out, and they would still get some audience for them. It'd be like, hey, follow my YouTube channel for, I don't know, the latest pirated movies, and then you can quickly use this downloader and link below to download those movies really quickly. And, there's a reason that you get punished for these things. And I was reading up on the rules recently. You get you get 1 week, the first strike, within 90 days. And if you get another strike within 90 days, then you get 2 weeks of restrictions of not being able to post anything. Third strike within 90 days, and it is game over. I mean, you can still, if you get 3 strikes in rapid succession, from what I remember hearing Cody's lab talk about, they do keep your stuff for, I think it's maybe 6 months, is what he was saying, but don't quote me on that, I could be remembering wrong, but they keep it for a little bit of time. So if you get 3 strikes, all at once, because just someone flags your channel or whatever, then you have time to dispute it, and your stuff's not gone, and you can say, no, it doesn't violate policy, here's why. Or, I don't know, maybe they're willing to listen to you, say, hey, I didn't know, and I'm going to follow the rules, which I hope happens in my case. But yeah, they exist for reasons, and this leads into something that I think was not a great case. Dang it, now I forgot when this was. One moment. Okay, so I checked a few things, which I forgot to check before I started recording. Anyways, it was 4 years ago, in 2018, that I got my first community guidelines strike, which was removed, And I was actually remembering some things a little incorrectly with this. From what what I did get correct that I remembered is I did a video live stream where I was unboxing my new camera. That was pretty much the title. And then I proceeded to go live from my phone and unbox my new camera. And then it got removed from misleading content, which didn't make sense. And I remembered being furious, but watching these videos, maybe my fury isn't as furious as I thought it would be. But maybe I was a little furious, but it's not showing. I had no idea why, but I appealed it. It did eventually get removed, and I was remembering that they still had the restrictions in place. So like, oh, hey, yeah, you're right. This isn't misleading. We're sorry. No strike on your channel, but you still have restrictions of not streaming for a while. And maybe that was in there somewhere and just a few days for things to process and whatnot. I don't know. But from watching stuff, it doesn't seem like that was an issue. Actually, wait, I can just check. December 5, November 29th. So a few days in between when I was able to stream again, which is acceptable. But what I was going to make here as a point that actually doesn't seem needed anymore is you don't continue to punish someone who has been proven innocent. Use a real-world example. You know, if the police get called for some suspicious activity, something dangerous, yes, they should actually act and respond and go to the place and investigate the person. And maybe it seems like it's a dangerous enough thing, so then you walk them away for a bit until you think it's safe, until they can prove themselves innocent. And not necessarily that you completely think they're guilty, but you're just taking protective measures. But then if, oh, hey, judge slaps his hammer, you're not guilty, you didn't do anything, but you're still going to spend another month in jail. No, that would not fly. You don't do that. But it doesn't look like YouTube was actually doing that here. So that is all taken care of, and we're all good. I don't know why I got the first strike. Maybe someone didn't like me and they flagged the video. Maybe their automated system messed up. I don't know. Either way, that was definitely frustrating if it wasn't infuriating like I was thinking. But YouTube has actually done some good things since then. They have a warning system now. You get one warning. It applies to all of the community violations, and you only get one. It's not per category. And it's like, hey, we know you don't mean to violate YouTube community guidelines. Most people don't. This video violates it, so we're taking it down. Keep on YouTubing. Just don't do that again. So the video in question that I got the warning for was a video from 9 years ago. I was 18 at the time, and this video, so a few years prior, I had been gifted a foam glider airplane from the dollar store, and it was a little beat up at this point, didn't fly very great anymore, and I took some off-the-shelf July celebratory items, and, you know, like the little green ones and I took those and I made the airplane go bye-bye. It's not really as cool as I'm making it sound. There was wind. It didn't work out very great. It's just wasn't really that great. Partway through, some friends who were younger than me did show up. You don't ever see their faces. You hear their voice, but you don't see their faces. They showed up to watch from a safe distance. My mom was filming. There was, so parental guidance was there, but I'm 18 in the video. And, oh, and she did mention don't do this at home. And yeah, I recognize that my slight modification of the celebratory items is not the safest thing to do. But I can also think through the logic in my head and see how the way I did it was definitely on the low end of the dangerous things. But still, I recognize that it wasn't the safest thing to do. And so, and especially since I was like, look, XYZ, this is the result, this is the steps to do it, which they're very easy anyways. Even if I hadn't explained what I did, people would have just been able to like figure out instantly. Wish I could snap my fingers, but I can't. Don't know how. So that video got taken down. I don't remember what I had for the for the appeal letter or note or whatever you want to say that I sent to them. But it was upheld. But then afterwards, I realized, wait a minute. The content policy this is violating is minors participating in dangerous acts. I was 18 at the time, so not legally a minor. So not to be removed. So I messaged Team YouTube on Twitter, and they still upheld their decision, which I'm okay with. The video wasn't that great. I do have a copy because you can. I lost it from my computer hard drive. Well, maybe it's on the recovery that I made of one, but I do have a copy because I recorded the screen of the little window where you see the violation and you get to watch the violated video. So I have a copy that way, and all of the videos I'm going to talk about, they're not really great. They're nothing special. Maybe if enough people messaged me off of YouTube on like Twitter, which is now X or something like that, messaged me off of YouTube and was like, hey, I'm really interested. You know, maybe there's some other website where it's not against their terms of service and would be okay. Because this content isn't like super egregious or dangerous or anything, but it does violate YouTube's policy, I recognize. But so yeah, I don't remember what I said, but it was taken down, and I asked Team YouTube because I was 18. They upheld their decision, and then I asked for more clarification. Was it my friends showing up who did not have any physical participation in the thing? They were just watching from a safe distance. Was it them showing up that caused it to be minors participating? Does watching count as participation? Which to me sounds very unusual, and especially with the next video that got a strike, it's like, so then even if I didn't modify the celebratory items, does that mean you can't have videos of like you just recorded your family July celebratory items show and posted it to YouTube, and maybe it's only the adults who are having fun with the celebratory items and everyone else gets to watch except for, you know, the little sparkler sticks? Or maybe, you know, some of the snaps that are just the little teeny paper ones for kids. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe possibly about messaging, like, I think it's Ian Corzine, YouTube lawyer, someone like that, and just saying, hey, I know this is not going to be put back up and it's not ever going to be removed unless, you know, if he ever was like, oh, hey, actually I think I could do something, then I might say, if it doesn't cost me anything, sure. If it doesn't cost my channel either. But I might message them and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think just watching counts as participation legally? Because I know outside of YouTube, with some things, it kind of does make you liable for it. You watched and did nothing, didn't say anything, and so then you are an accomplice in some ways. There's the whole legal stuff behind that. But on that one, I don't know, and it's just confusing and annoying because then they were also like, well, hey, here's a link to our policies, so you can read up on that and answer your question. No, it doesn't. It doesn't specify if my friends showing up to watch were the problem. Because, you know, having it be a tutorial of something dangerous that you don't want on the platform, I forget what that content is categorized under, but that's not allowed. I understand that one, okay? But marking it as minor, I looked young. When I was 18, if I shaved, I looked like I was 12. I sounded like I was 12 too. But like, if it really is just the person doing it looks like they're young, that's where I don't accept and I don't like. I have heard about not specific cases, but just things online where people do stuff, and even in real life, people are getting age-gated for their size and for their appearance. And I think with some of the real life things, I mean, if you are too small for something, even though your age is old enough, then I can see like maybe a roller coaster. Oh, sorry, even though you're 18, you're still really short, and it's a size thing that makes this not safe. I can see that. But, like, you know, going into, like, drinking and things like that, you know, I don't support drinking at all, but, like, if they have an ID, they can usually be like, yeah, here's my ID, oh, okay, here you go. But with online and with content creation, there's a lot of things. I've heard about some stuff, especially in the more inappropriate category, I will not be specific about, where, you know, people just look young, and personally I think if they're old enough, they should be allowed to. Whatever, because they're old enough. They're over 18 or the age of consent wherever they live. So in this case, I mean, if it's my friends showing up, I get it. But if it's me doing it, then I really think this should actually be removed as not a warning on my channel. The video doesn't have to be put back up, but it shouldn't be a warning anymore because I was 18 at the time when I did it, and that does not violate the policy. So that's where some confusion lies with that one, and I'm not positive. By the way, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. Anyone remember this background from back in the day? That's kind of why I picked it. I had to screen capture, or do a screenshot and stitch together from my YouTube banner. Whew, the old banner. I'm probably going to change it at some point. But anyways, on to the strike and why this is kind of scary. So the strike was for a video. It was Countdown to the Black Cat Night 2. And this happened 6 months after I got the warning. So that was 6 months ago. That could be very big. I'll mention why in a moment. But I got a strike for this video, and this video happened a year prior, and so I am now 17 at this time. So yes, I am a minor. And in this video, I do 2 July celebratory items. The video, again, nothing very special. It's super dark. You can see a smidge of the streamlight on this super grainy video, filmed on an old camcorder with the mini DV tape, the old JVC that I used to film on. And there's a few sparks from the celebratory items. It's really nothing special. That was night 2 of, I think, 7. Because the thing for this series was, during July, when you have the holiday, which is the 4th and the 24th, you get 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days afterwards. So an entire week, pretty much. I don't know how I got around the, like, it being Sunday thing. Maybe I didn't do all 7. I probably didn't do all 7, but day 1 celebratory item, day 2 celebratory, 3, 4, until finally I had a black cat puppet that I made go bye-bye. You couldn't really see it. I forgot to show it with light shining on it in the camera beforehand. Maybe I said something interesting in there, I don't remember. But that video got taken down and I was given a strike. And that's why I haven't done any Minecraft or posted anything for the entire week. And it bothered me just a little at first, but not so much. The warning bothered me for a while too, just like seeing that, like, ooh, there's some, oh, that's right, I know what this is. And getting this strike bothered me a bit. Here's what I said for the appeal, which was rejected. This video has been on YT for a decade. Why did it not violate guidelines before? Probably because someone just now decided it was against them and flagged it. I should have been more clear and said someone just now noticed and realized it was. But why should it be a problem now if it wasn't then? I made this video when I was 17. I know according to US law that still constitutes a minor. But is that too young to be lighting store-bought July celebratory items? I didn't say that word in there. I used the actual word. That is 7 letters and starts with the letter F. So I actually used the proper word for the July celebratory items. So, store-bought July celebratory items under adult supervision in a safe manner. If so, then I ask you to look at the previous video you removed. In that video, I was 18 at the legal age, which is no longer considered a minor. Some friends did randomly show up to watch, but you never clarified if watching counted as participating in dangerous acts. If watching doesn't count, then I ask you to remove the warning and make this one the warning. Thank you, CR. My initials, Caleb Rogers. So, that was rejected, and I can kind of see why. I definitely was a minor in this video when I did the July celebratory items, and I don't know. Is 17 too young for that? I think 17, maybe 16, somewhere around there can be okay, especially with adult supervision. I'm in full support of not letting anyone under 18 go to a booth and purchase those items. But, like, if they purchase them with an adult, and the adult trusts them, then sure. But this leads into the, well, but then you might have other people watching this and thinking it's okay, and they see a minor do it, and they think it's okay, and, like, this is just a random example that popped into my head because of some things I've been thinking about lately, and stuff I've been kind of maybe trying to work on. But like, if Elmo just started randomly doing bad things, that would be encouraging to kids. And there have been some videos online where Elmo was involved with some inappropriate stuff. Not legit actual Sesame Street Elmo, but like other people pretending to be Elmo for other videos and being funny and stuff. And I mean, you know, also, okay, like, he's been on some night shows, and the actor has been a little whack, is the term that I would use. I forget the term, but it's being more crazy than I remember them was the title of the video that I watched. But basically, Elmo from actual Sesame Street in the versions meant for kids wouldn't do that stuff. It would cause problems. So, you know, me as a minor doing that, maybe it's encouragement. And I'm kind of okay with this being removed. And I was fine with it initially, because once I saw this, I'm like, oh, I know how to take action. And I went and I deleted all of the other videos in the series. And I'm like, great, we're fine. But then in researching this and just mulling this video idea over in my head for the past week, planning what I was going to say, and reading up online about some things, because again, when I uploaded this, like, seriously, if the first video had actually been noticed and been like, oh, hey, that violates policy, I'd have been like, okay, this is sad, but I won't upload the rest of the series, no problems. But in researching more recently, I found out you can be, you can be penalized or you can get a strike for deleted content, which, that's kind of scary. And then it also links to, like, here's our policy on how long we, you know, keep your content and stuff after it's deleted. And that was very confusing. I did like Control F and search for videos, and it didn't find anything about how long they keep your videos on YouTube after they're deleted. Some people say Google never deletes stuff. I don't know. Google searching like how long a deleted video is kept, and they say when you delete it, it's gone instantly. There's no recovering it. But obviously they do keep it for some amount of time. So like if your channel gets hacked, then, oh hey, I was hacked and they deleted a bunch of stuff. And then, oh, they just roll it back. And ideally, I think, keep it for, I don't know, let's say 6 months. What I mentioned earlier from what I'm vaguely remembering from what Cody's lab said about this stuff. You know, for like 6 months or so, sure. And then make it permanently gone, but only do that so that if it was a hack or something like that, then you can say, oh, I got hacked, please restore, and you do. I'm not asking for these videos to be restored. Again, they weren't really that special, but I don't know. Hit me up on X if you're like really desperate or something for them, and there's probably not much I can do. I'm not trying to upload bad content to the internet somewhere else again. That's not my intention. But, yeah, the fact that they can do that really changed things and scared me, because this strike will expire on October 28th, I believe. It's the 90-day period, and then it expires, and it goes away, and I'm back to just having the warning, and it should be fine. I don't think I'm going to have any more problems with the YouTube system going forward into the future. And if I do, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I somehow missed reading that rule or something, or maybe the rules changed when I didn't know. Which, I forgot to talk about this earlier, but I can do it now, it's fine, it fits. I think YouTube needs to be more lenient for older content. Not super lenient, like, I don't think this violated a new policy. I think this policy was probably always there. But I think if content's been on for a long time, there's a really good chance I didn't know that it violated, which back then I didn't, but I do now. And so I think they should treat stuff like this, the older it is and the longer it's been on, as long as it's not super, super bad. Like, I'm not going to even mention what super bad would be, but there's some stuff that could get you instantly terminated. That's fine, I get it. But, like, I don't think that... I think that they should be so harsh and, like, 3 instant strikes, because I could get 3 strikes from these videos that have been deleted only to follow with rules. I'm not trying to scoot around and be sneaky about things, whatever. I want to actually follow the rules. Please don't delete my channel. And, you know, I've prayed about this the past week, and I have some feelings like it won't. Just cross our fingers if anything does. I mean, follow me on X, used to be Twitter, Caleb Rogers, @Closers101, and I'll post about there, you know, what the plans are. I don't want to start a new channel if that happens, but we'll have to see. But then you can also message Team YouTube and be like, hey, he didn't want to actually violate rules, blah, 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 and support me. But I think they need to be more lenient because the content has been on for so long. Someone clearly didn't know, and at that point, it's almost their fault for not catching it. I don't think they're technically liable with legal US law. That's a thing I've talked about before. But really, though, like, hey, if you didn't notice before, like, if you didn't say anything, why now? I know some sites, they allow for older content that violates new policies to be grandfathered in. Maybe that, depending on the type of content. In my case, I still agree with just deleting it, but I don't think the punishment should be as harsh for things like this, because it's been on for so long. In my case, I had no idea. And so why? And maybe you look at and ask them, hey, did you have an idea? See if you can tell if they knew that it was violating the rules or not. And if they didn't, then don't be so harsh and just remove the content and give them essentially a warning. But this also bleeds into the annoying thing where then, you know, people trying to sneak around the rules, you can't just always give people warnings, because then they'll just keep doing stuff. It's like, hey, I'm new YouTube channel where you get a pirate movies, I upload it, and then if the system doesn't detect it somehow, and then it's there, and then everybody quickly goes and downloads it from YouTube, where you don't have to worry if the torrent's safe, or if you're going to see things you don't want to. Just go to the whatever YouTube downloader site I recommend, and you download the copy before it's gone. And then it gets flagged, and it gets removed, and that's it. I don't get any punishments, and then I just keep on doing it. Obviously that could happen, so you don't want that to. But where also I think especially this applies is if you make new rules. I think if you're making new rules, even bigger case for the old stuff to maybe be grandfathered in if it's nostalgic, if it was really popular. As long as the new rules aren't because you're violating some sort of law inside of US or any other country, then I think it should be grandfathered in. But, you know, that's what I think the best option is. Second best option is, hey, your content was uploaded before these new rules. It violates them now. We're not punishing you. You're taking away your ability to upload and stuff. We're just removing the video. I think that is the second best thing that they could do. And the older it is, the more that they should lean towards not giving a strike for the video that is being removed, and having them actually have restrictions on what they can post and stuff. But the closer it is, like if it was a few days before the release and they were public about this rule and whatnot, then that one can definitely lean more towards, oh, violates the new rules, it should be taken down and they should get a strike, because they knew. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they can say, oh, I didn't know, I was just following in the footsteps of all this other content. And that's the tough thing too. If you leave the older stuff up, then people might see and be like, I want to do that, and then they do that without knowing. It's a whole can of worms that I think I've covered just about all I can say on. But yeah, and I think the most annoying thing for the past few weeks, because I have kind of plugged in some other projects, I finally went back to writing in my book that I was talking about. But there is... what's the right... oh yeah, the most annoying thing was not being able to add stuff to a playlist, because I have a list of videos that I slowly sit down and whittle away with my parents, and, you know, my roommate who stays with us, he's sometimes there when we watch them. And so that is, I don't know, it was kind of annoying not to be able to add videos to that. And so I've just kept them on a Google Keep note, but that should be, if it's not available back just yet, that will be available for me to do again tomorrow. This video will go up. I'll definitely be doing a Minecraft live stream. I didn't play any Minecraft during this period. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. It is a little bit scary, the thought of my other videos just rapid succession getting deleted. But oh, this is the important thing with the 6 months. Seeing 2 things is not enough to establish a pattern, but I am guessing that the first one, and then 6 months later, the warning, and then 6 months later the strike. I'm wondering if whoever did this, because it probably had to have been a human. I don't know that, I mean, I think YouTube system maybe does look over old content, maybe, I'm not positive, but it just to me feels like it was a human saying, oh, this violates policy, flag it. It feels to me like they didn't want things to just disappear, the whole channel to go away, and so they were leaving enough space in between to ensure that the channel wouldn't get 3 strikes in 90 days, which, I mean, if that's your intent, hey, you know, thanks. You probably had good intentions behind that. I appreciate that. And also, like, I tried looking at one of those videos that it took me a bit to find the URL. I should have just copied it initially and then deleted the videos. I did download the whole series, by the way. I didn't have to screen capture. I was able to download and then delete. But it looks like if a video is going to be flagged when it's deleted, it has to be internally that you get a strike for that. Because it's like, this video has been deleted and there's no flag icon or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been a little scary. I'm feeling a little more peaceful now. But yeah, follow me on X. I really don't post there at all. And like with this, I was gonna like do a community post on YouTube being like, hey, got a strike, can't post for a week. But I couldn't post that either. But X would be the place where if something big happens, then I can go there and say, here's what's going on. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Yeah, leave a like if you don't want the channel to go away. Don't necessarily reach out to Team YouTube yet and say anything, because I mean, I don't know what they would do if they're alerted to this and then they dug into it, but seriously, please, I deleted those videos to comply with policy, not because I was caught and I'm sulking away and trying to find another way around the system. But yeah, leave comments down below if, you know, just your thoughts on this and support, I guess, whatever you want to say. Maybe you thought my green screen work was terrible. I don't know, but yeah, yeah, the projects are slowly plugging along, and I don't know, feel good about doing this video. And, oh, subscribe if you want notifications about whenever the next upload or live stream is, and click the bell, too, to do that. That also helps me get closer towards my monetization goal, but the very important thing that helps you and helps me is if you just watch the videos and get my watch hours up, then you will have the ability, once we're at like 990, 950 or something, around 1,000. They went down a bit, but if we get them back up, if we get to 3,000, then you guys can finally donate to me, so it allows you to do that. But also, even if you don't want to donate, that's how YouTube knows that you like my stuff, and it puts more of it in your feed so that you see more. It's just watching it. So do that, and I'll see you guys in whatever's next. Bye!